Morning, friends and family to Temple of the Living God. I'm so glad you chose this portion of your Sunday to spend with us, whether you're in the sanctuary or if you're remote on social media. And now we are going to hear the talents of Carol Mitchell and the Goodfellows.
Boy, this time change has really got me going.
He
Right?
loves to make an entrance.
Don't I know? Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. We've got a great song for you guys to sing along with. It's very easy to follow. So, follow our lead, would you?
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Now, love.
Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Sing it. Peace is my power. Let's hear it. Peace gives me everything I need. Yeah. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need.
Bring it back to God.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Break it down, y'all. Love.
Love gives me everything I need. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need.
Today, we're pleased to have Paul Cardillo as our speaker, and he's speaking on the topic, Look with Gratitude and Joy. I have chosen a reading from Daily Word entitled Grateful. I am wonderfully blessed and so grateful. Today, I'm grateful to reap a bountiful harvest of love and joy. I give thanks for my many blessings, especially for the love of God and all the wondrous ways in which that love manifests. I am grateful for my family and friends, those who give my life meaning and depth. I am grateful for the roof over my head and for the comfort of warmth and security. I am grateful for the food that I have to eat, food that nourishes me and keeps me healthy. Mostly, I am grateful for the presence of God in my life and the awareness that God is not only around me, God is in me. For my divinity, I give thanks for prosperity, peace, and joy, the sweetest blessings I could ever have. And in Proverbs 15:13, it says, a glad heart makes a cheerful countenance. And so it is. And now, again, the talents of Carolyn the Goodfellows.
If you've got faith and you believe in what you're living for, you can stand your ground when there's trouble at your door.
And a little hope can help you when the road is getting rough. But there's nothing quite like love if you've got love. If you've got love, you can move a mountain a little bit further down the line. You can do it all at once, or one rock at a time. You can turn an ordinary picture into a priceless work of art. But that's what you do if you've got love in your heart.
Now there's nothing like a real good friend to tell your troubles to. But there's just so much a real good friend can do.
'Cause it takes the good Lord's touch to chase the darkest blues away. And if you've got love, you've got what it takes.
If you've got love, you can move a mountain a little bit further down the line. You can do it all at once, one rock at a time. You can turn an ordinary picture into a priceless work of art. That's what you can do if you've got love in your heart. Get it, Bill? If you got love, you can move a mountain a little bit further down the line. You can do it all at once, one rock at a time. You can turn an ordinary picture into a priceless work of art. That's what you can do if you've got love in your heart. That's what you can do if you've got love in your heart. Yeehaw, everybody. Bill Bryant on the keyboard.
Good morning. Good morning. How wonderful it is to be here. Probably most of you know that I spend my days as a lawyer in courtrooms and arguing various issues before judges and panels of judges, juries. And the feeling, it's all important, but when I am preparing for an argument, a presentation to a court, I feel really, really the importance of it causes me to feel just the light of God. And when I feel that light of God, I know that Spirit has something to say. I've come far enough along in my life that I recognize it. And I recognize it in this moment. If I could have you feel what I'm feeling now and experiencing now, you would understand. Spirit this morning, it's so strong and so present that it feels like a whirlwind within my heart. There's a feeling that that's actually movement. It's the presence of the light of God, and it's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that exists. And these past several couple of months with the two hurricanes, where there's been tremendous loss, anxiety, difficulties, financial, emotional, mental, and then the recent political world that we have looked upon, many of us being extremely disappointed. The message that comes through all of this, through every nuance of it, and my family and I had to evacuate in the hurricanes and spent 17 and a half hours, or 14 and a half hours driving to Atlanta. We had to attend a wedding there, but it was a parking lot all the way. While all the chaos was going on. And what Spirit calls us to do, what the Holy Spirit calls us to do. And the Holy Spirit is the spirit of joy that is us. Okay? You aren't a human being. You aren't spirit having a human experience. You are spirit lost in a world of darkness. And what we want to do is wake up to the fact that we are the love and the presence of our Creator. And we get to make choices constantly during our days. Am I created by God, love, joy? Am I as I was created? Or have I taken on a different identity? Do I think I am a human being subject to misery, suffering? Is that who I think I am? And who was the teacher and who is the teacher that brings all this home? And that is Yeshua, Jesus. He's with us now. He's present here now. And what he would tell us, as he has said over and over and over again, when you look at the world, the circumstances, the difficulties that you seem to be going through, the state of the chaos of the world, the absolute chaos, the absolute insanity. When Jesus was asked, when Yeshua was asked, won't you be our king? And to the disappointment of many, he said, my kingdom is not of this world. He's very present now. And the hesitation that I have, I feel his love. I feel the promise that he made, that I will never leave you nor forsake you. And so we have a choice. We have a choice every moment of the day. Do we belong to this world, or do you belong to God? Is God your God? Is love your God? Is joy your God? Or is the world that you see, do we let the world that we see become our God? Does it tell you how to feel? Do the circumstances that you see tell you how to feel? Because circumstances and events speak to us. They tell us, be afraid, be very afraid. Lose hope. You lost your belongings in the flood. The political system is a mess. And so is that our God, or is God still our God? Is joy still our God? What do we bow down to? When they asked Yeshua, he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give yourself to God. Caesar is the rulers of this world. Caesar is the deception of relying on the world to make you feel a certain way. Events, people, circumstances. Don't bite that apple, because it's poison. That apple is poison. Once you bite it, then you're poisoned. You bring in darkness. Stay steadfast in the light, no matter what is happening. And he, Yeshua, spoke as much as he could speak. He said as much as he could say. But he knew that he had to demonstrate it to make an impact. Because words can sound pretty and they can sound true, but if you don't take them into your heart and don't practice them, don't apply them, then they're just words. They're just words. And so he demonstrated during his crucifixion. And what in the Course in Miracles that I get to teach, what he calls crucifixion are the thoughts and the feelings that we have that attack us and torture us. Because that's what the crucifixion is. The daily thoughts that attack and torture you. All the what ifs, all the oh my goshes, all the it shouldn't be this ways, all the what's going to happen tomorrow. Those are crucifixion thoughts. He was trying to teach that. And so we crucify ourselves with uncertainty, with misery, with worry, with concern. And that's not the kingdom of heaven. That's not who we are. We, spirit, that's what we are. We are natural habitat. Your natural habitat is the grace of God. This is not our natural habitat. There's anything but grace in this world. That being said, the good news is once you recognize that, once you recognize that God created only spirit, only joy, because another name for God, or actually God's real name, is joy. Yes. God's name is joy. God's name is peace. God is a made-up word. We all know that, right? We made that up. And then definitions got attached to that. First, fear, and discipline, and judgment. So God's a made-up word. The essence of God is joy and love and peace, and that's God. That's our Creator. That's the light. And in that light, we understand God. We're pretending now that we don't, because we've bowed down to something other than joy. If you're not in joy, if you're going through your day and a thought occurs to you that's not joy, realize you have just stepped out of the kingdom of heaven. In that nanosecond, you have stepped out of the kingdom of it. It's not up to us to take thoughts and try and solve them. That's what darkness would like us to do, or what the Course in Miracles calls ego, or the personal self. It's not up to you to solve that. And that's why Jesus said over and over and over again, seek first the kingdom of heaven, peace, joy. All else will be taken care of. And sometimes you have to look at a very difficult situation that you're in, and you have to make a choice. Which horse are you going to ride? Which path are you going to take? And which path are you going to take and not look back? Which path are you going to take and not waver? During the crucifixion, Yeshua had every chance to waver. He didn't. That's what his example was to us. Don't waver from the light. Don't waver from joy. And so when you leave here today, before we get to our cars in the parking lot, you're going to have attack thoughts. You're going to have thoughts that attack your joy. Don't give an inch to any of them. Don't think that you have to solve them. You hand them to the Holy Spirit, or you hand them to God, you hand them to the Holy Spirit, what the Course in Miracles calls the Holy Instant. And what Jesus says in the Course in Miracles, all problems should be brought and left in the Holy Instant. And then when you find yourself taking that problem, that difficulty back, remind yourself, I have left this with the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit that we are knows exactly what to do, knows exactly what to say, and our job is to be in peace. That's our job, is to recognize the kingdom of heaven. That's why Yeshua said, the kingdom of heaven is spread out before you. You're not seeing it. You're looking at the world. Are you aware of spirit? I can tell you that miracles, a couple of years ago, more and more miracles began to happen when I made a commitment. And it's a commitment. It literally is a commitment. It's not something you pick up and play with and put down and pick up and play with. Well, this part of the day, I'll be aware of spirit in the presence of God. Maybe not when I go to work, but when I come home, it's kind of like going to church on Sunday and like you've done your duty to God. When I go into courtrooms, I am aware of the Spirit of God. Everything else blends into the background because the Spirit of God, love, joy, is the only thing that's real. And you know what happens? The demeanor in every person in that courtroom, including the judge, changes. You get to choose. That's how powerful you are. But I'd ask you this, don't waffle back and forth. Stay in the light. Stay committed to realizing that only the love of God is real. And here's what Jesus says in the Course. Only the love and the peace and the joy of God is real. Everything else is your own imagination. Everything else is your own imagination. And I and the Father are one, we and God. We're not separate from our Creator. We are in God. It's not even that God is in us. We live and move in God. We live and move in perfection. But we're looking at imagery, we're looking at a world that wants us to believe that it's real, that God doesn't exist, that perfection doesn't exist anymore. And you're stuck with this misery and suffering and illness and COVIDs and floods and cancers. But the way out is simply to recognize you get to choose. And there's in the last chapter in the Course in Miracles, chapter 31, what struck me a couple of years ago was Yeshua's words that you have to make a choice, as he did. He made a choice. That's all it was. He didn't come into the world ahead of us. He didn't come in divinely blessed with talents that we don't have. The difference is he saw that the world was full of misery, kind of like when Buddha walked out of the gates of the kingdom and looked around and saw, what is this? This can't be real. And Jesus made that choice. And what he says in the Course in Miracles is, you're either a body or you are a spirit, not both. And your whole world depends on making this choice. If you choose that you are a body, then you will never escape the misery of this world. If you choose and recognize that you are spirit, all of heaven, all of the light of heaven will touch your eyes and your hands, and you will see the world no more but to bless and to forgive it. to bless it, and to forgive it. And what happens when you choose that you are spirit, you have spiritual vision. So you're looking with vision that's your true vision, and it comes from literally the right hand of God, literally the right hand of God. And everything that you look upon, when you're cognizant, at least to some degree, that you're spirit, Jesus' words are, everything that you look upon falls gently into place. So there's no need to lose your peace anymore. When you look with spiritual eyes, with the eyes of love, you have them. They're just, you've decided that they're closed. Open them. Just be open to opening them. Everything that you look upon will fall gently into place. Don't let the catastrophe speak to you. Speak to it. The physical eyes, Jesus says the physical eyes have no power to resolve anything. None. They can look upon catastrophe, and then what that prompts the physical eyes to do is to try and do something to fix it. What spiritual eyes do, what Christ's vision is, and we all have it, when we look upon whatever it is that we look upon, if there's a disaster in your life, if there's a difficulty, if there's a thought, I don't know how many times I did this yesterday, at least 6 or 8 that I know of. When there's a thought, like a, oh my goodness, or something even creating the least bit of disturbance in your peace, look upon it with the eyes of the Holy Spirit. And here's the words to use. And this is what I teach in the Wednesday evening class. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. And as soon as you say that, and by the way, Holy Spirit's not interested in your intellect. Not interested in how you think you can figure it out, nor is the Holy Spirit interested in mine. And that's a blessing. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. And in that nanosecond, if you do this, you will feel peace come over you. And I have some people that are new to the Course in Miracles. One particular girl that comes to mind, and she talked last week, and she said, Paul, we had this experience at work. It was all full of chaos. And she's just kind of trying to understand the Course in Miracles, and she said, I did exactly what you said. She said, you have no idea the peace that came over me. And I said, keep doing that. Keep doing that, Susie. That's what you want to do. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. You are the Holy Spirit, but you don't even have to get that far. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. Go through your entire day, and then the entire next day, and the entire next day after that, and all the days of your life. Holy Spirit, help me look upon this differently. You don't have to imagine something different happening. You don't have to come up with, I would like it to look like this. Stay out of it. None of your business. Let God be God. God has already solved in spiritual vision, every single problem is already solved. It's already there. God solved every single problem when he dreamed up this world. It's in the spiritual vision. It's the treasure, what's called the treasury of Christ. In fact, Yeshua says every single affliction is already cured. Every single need has already been met when you take from the treasury of Christ. And the treasury of Christ is simply looking with your spiritual eyes. Am I letting this world tell me how to feel? Am I letting my bank account, when I look at it, is it telling me how to feel? Is the floods telling me how to feel? Is the letter that comes in the mail telling me how to feel? And so immediately you just look at the letter and you say, Holy Spirit, help me see this different, gently and quietly. and then just rest there. And I'll close with this. One of my very, very favorite lessons in the course is I rest in God. I'm just going to read part of it, and then I'll be done. I wake up with this lesson oftentimes it's just flowing through my mind, completely flowing through my mind. And because what we want to do is remember who we are, right? We want to remember who we are. When your body drops away in this world, and it will, you're going to be standing in the light. And you're going to look at that and you're going to say, what was that mess? I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was angry the whole time. I was scared the whole time. Oh my goodness. I am the kingdom of heaven. We are the kingdom of heaven, and we're deceived by the hallucination. Jesus says everything else other than the love of God is your own imagination. And he proved it. He walked through it. He's our example. And this lesson, I rest in God. We ask for rest today, and this is especially appropriate for every day, but especially now. We ask for rest today and quietness unshaken by the world appearances. We ask for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. And that's all that the world is. We recognize that. It's a world of clashing dreams, right? Your dream clashes with mine. What I want clashes with you. What I think clashes with the way you think. What I think should be your right clashes with what the other person thinks should be your right. Right? That's all that the world is. That's all that politics is. That's all that a lot of religions are. Clashing dreams. None of it means anything. We ask for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. We ask for safety and for happiness, although we seem to look on danger and on sorrow, and we have the thought that will answer our asking with what we request. I rest in God. This thought will bring you to the rest and the peace and the quiet and the stillness and the safety of the happiness that you are looking for. I rest in God. This thought has power to wake the sleeping truth in you, whose vision, that's what I've been talking about, whose vision sees beyond appearances to that same truth in everyone and everything that there is. Here is the end of suffering for all the world, and everyone who ever came and yet will come again and will linger for a while. Here is the thought in which you are born again to recognize yourself. I rest in God, completely undismayed. Like, how often are we dismayed, disappointed? Completely undismayed, this thought will carry you through storms and strife, past misery and past pain, past loss, past death, and onward to the certainty of God. There is no suffering it cannot heal. There is no problem this thought cannot heal. And no appearance but will turn to truth before the eyes of you who rest in God. And so, to complete this, we have a choice. Do we rest in God? Are we aware of God? Can you take this thought, I rest in God, can you take it and apply it to what is going on in your mind? Are you thinking about politics? Are you going to allow that to take your peace? No. Are you going to allow financial issues to rob you of peace? No. When you rest in God, the financial issues are taken care of. You're led in the right direction. The right job comes along. I can't tell you how many people that in the work that I do, have had cancers disappear, literally disappear. When they talk to me about their illness, it goes right over my head. because you're making this up. You are the light of God. You're dreaming, you're hallucinating, you're seeing something that God did not create. And we know God didn't create cancers. And so when you stay in the light, and the one concept that you accept is the love, the joy of God, everything else disappears on its own. That's why when she would walk through a crowd, someone could touch his robe and be healed. We have the same divine gifts. We are the light of God. So I would leave this, and this is Yeshua. His last words are, there was a line in the chorus, and it struck me 25 years ago when I first started reading it. There's a line in the chorus that says, you are much too tolerant of allowing your mind to wander. You are much too tolerant of allowing your mind to wander. And the wandering is away from the presence of joy and peace in God. And it wanders to concerns and worries and difficulties. And we're convinced that we have to do that, or else they're not going to get solved. And that's the complete opposite of the way it works. It gets, whatever the it may be, gets solved because you have chosen the peace of God, the kingdom of heaven. Seek first. There's very few words that he left even in the Bible. That's why he said, seek first the kingdom of heaven. All else will be taken care of.
Very good, very touching. Thank you. It comes a time in our service for our tithes and offerings. If the ushers would come forward, please. We give thanks for all that we give, all that we receive, and all that we have. We ask that these gifts be multiplied to support the ministry at the temple for its members, its friends, and the community. And so it is. And now we'll be entertained by the talents of Carolyn the Goodfellows.
You know this song. We sang this song last week, and we're going to sing it again today. And just a little heads up to be prepared for next week. Bring your dancing shoes. That's all I'm going to say about it right now.
Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Let me hear you.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Let's try that again. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Sing it out.
Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health.
My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health.
My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends.
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends.
My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends.
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Hey!
Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
This glorious, this glorious, this glorious life.
This glorious, this glorious, this glorious life.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit.
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 Thank you for this day,
Here we go.
Spirit.
Thank you for this day.
All right, y'all. You sound good. You're going to sound even better next week. Let that song percolate in your mind all week, and we'll see you guys again next Sunday.